Hello everyone, my name is Naomi, and I'm here on behalf of our organization called SHAPE. SHAPE stands for Sustainable, Happy, and Prosperous Earth. Today I will be presenting part 2 of our H3 Education series. H3 Education is based on the worldview of harmonious coexistence, propounded by Nagraj, who is a personal mentor and inspiration of mine. I want to express my gratitude to Nagraj and all members of his family. As I mentioned, this is part 2 of our H3 Education series. If you have not seen part 1, then it would be beneficial to watch it first. The previous video provides an overall introduction to H3 Education, while this video goes into greater detail about the content, our approach, and methodologies in practice, and more. So let's learn about this education model and its key distinct features. H3 Education is a model based on raising awareness through value education. What do we mean by raising awareness? This education provides a holistic and enduring understanding that enables a qualitative shift in awareness towards a coexistence mindset, which means considering the well-being of all, humane perspective, tendencies and traits, solution-oriented thinking, an ability to ensure mutually satisfying relationships in the family and in society, becoming accountable to people and the environment, a mentality of more production than consumption, becoming a system within and participating harmoniously in the entire system, establishing a just society and global cooperation, and living with understanding, honesty, responsibility, and meaningful participation for a united humanity and balanced planet. This raising awareness is accomplished by exploring universal values that we all have in common, regardless of our nationality, geographic region, and more. Values such as trust, respect, affection, care, gratitude, grit, courage, generosity, kindness, compassion, and more. H3 Education stands for Healthy State of Mind, Healthy Relationships, and Healthy Planet. These 3 objectives form the base of this education and are what makes this education successful for each and every child. These objectives serve each child on a personal level as well as on a collective global level. Healthy state of mind results in sustainable happiness, healthy relationships results in undivided society, and healthy planet results in realizing a system of global cooperation with sustained harmony and balance among matter, plants, animals, and human beings. Another way of saying this is harmony within, harmony with each other, and harmony with the environment. Ultimately, this is what we would like to see for the next generation. Achieving these 3 objectives is evidence of a wholesome and complete education that addresses all aspects of our lives. A united humanity and healthy earth is proof of a healthy state of mind. These objectives are our landing ground, where we want to reach, and all of our approaches and methodologies are aligned to help us reach there. One of the most unique features of this education is in its content, which is built upon the worldview of harmonious coexistence. It fosters a coexistence or togetherness mindset and solution-oriented thinking, which enables us to understand and live well in family, society, and participate in harmonious systems. It also cultivates a viewpoint of ensuring the well-being of all, which considers all people and the entire planet first. This is a fundamental paradigm shift in thinking that has tremendous implications for how we live with each other and the systems we participate in. H3 objectives are the central part of this education. To actualize the 3 H's, we have 30 life essential themes, and we utilize a system-based, relation-centered method. Life essential questions drive the learning process. In addition, we integrate pre-existing methods such as project-based learning, play-based learning, cooperative-based learning, phenomena-based learning, and more. Please see part 1 of our H3 introduction video for a list of all of our life essential themes. In this process, learners develop a holistic understanding and life essential skills, such as meaningful handwork and production skills. And all of this happens through lessons, activities, engaging projects, and more. Let's take a look at our unique system-based relation-centered method. All learning through the life essential themes are anchored in systems and relationships. This is what grounds this education. So what is system-based relation-centered learning? If we look closely, we can see that relationships and systems are integral to our lives. This drives both teaching and learning. Understanding doesn't happen in fragments, rather it happens in a system. Learners in the H3 education model investigate and explore real-life relationships and real-life harmonious systems, leading to real-life solutions. This is the formula. This happens by applying whatever subjects and skills are relevant to the study. In the process, learners develop a solution-oriented mindset to participate in harmonious solutions for all. We've all heard the word system, but what do we really mean? Since there's an inherent coexistence and nothing exists by itself, we can see that everything is a part of a system where many parts are working together to serve a larger purpose for the good of all. Let's take a look at the example of a body from the perspective of a system. If we pay attention, we can see that the human body is made up of many organs, each with a particular function. For example, the liver, heart, kidneys, intestines, and much more. Every part and organ of the body is useful in itself and complementary to other parts and organs within the system of the body. Each organ only becomes useful being together within the system. Together, all parts and organs of the body cooperate to ensure the health of the body. The principle is that everything is a system within and participates in the entire system. We can see the exact same principle in a forest ecosystem. In the forest, you can see soil, stones, moss, plants, flowers, trees, and animals. Everything is useful and complementary in the system. A harmonious system, from small to large scale, is built upon usefulness and complementariness. The same principle exists for all systems, whether it be natural systems, such as a wetland, mountain, or desert ecosystems, or human-made systems, such as cars or airplanes. Imagine if our families were able to function like these other systems. What results would we see in the society and the world at large? When families become a harmonious system within, they can play a vital role in ensuring a harmonious society and a balanced planet. In H3 education, learners study harmonious systems and how they can apply them in their own lives. Learners begin to see themselves as an integral part of the whole and become capable of fulfilling all of their responsibilities joyfully. The other aspect of system-based relation-centered learning is relationships. Since there's an inherent coexistence, we can see that our learning, understanding, and overall progress happens in togetherness too. We're all supported by a web of relationships near and far, in the family and in the society. Learners begin to recognize all of the relationships that support them and become equipped to ensure mutual satisfaction in all of their relationships, be it with their parents, grandparents, brothers and sisters, teachers, friends, and more. In this process, learners begin to foster universal human values within. Values form the base for deeply satisfying and humane living. Values are our shared expectations and what builds a strong foundation for our own well-being and for our relationships. Values are embedded in all of the themes, and they're evidenced in living together. In this H3 education model, teachers nurture strong bonds with parents and family members and support their awareness to foster such values at home. With what lens do we see? And how does this look in practice? Coexistence, meaning systems and relationships, form the base of how we see teaching and learning happening. Let's explore this lens in more detail. We can see that anything can be understood in togetherness in an integrated manner. For this, we use a zoom out, zoom in technique. Let's see how this technique works. If a child wants to understand herself, first, she will broaden her perspective by zooming out. From this, she will notice that she can better identify herself with her family who support her. Then she zooms out a bit more and she can see that people in the neighborhood and society as a whole are integral as well. And that is not enough. The environment, such as soil, stones, water, air, plants, trees, insects, and animals all support her as well. And the whole existence is there too. She can see, I am not alone. I can understand myself in togetherness. Now, after seeing the big picture, we can zoom back in and she can properly understand herself with that whole background context. Zoom out again, and the whole picture with her in it becomes clear. This is how we see and support our learners to see. So, in review, zooming out allows learners to see their participation in a larger system and recognize their relationship with the whole. Zooming in allows learners to see their own system within and recognize their local participation in the family. Zoom out again, and now we can see everything clearly. Regardless of what we are studying, whether it be bees, trees, family, our needs, water, natural systems, and more, we use the same lens. This method allows us to move from an individualistic lens towards a togetherness lens, which culminates in realizing the 3 H's: harmony within, harmony with each other, and harmony with the environment. Now that we've explored the way in which we see, what is the role of the teacher in all of this? Teachers play a very significant role in this whole understanding process. They support learners to make connections on many levels, since to understand one thing is to establish a link with the next. It is about connecting the dots. They support learners to make connections between the themes and themselves and their life, and between the theme and the whole world around them. This allows them to develop a comprehensive and holistic understanding that relates to themselves and all of their relationships with people and the environment. Teachers also inspire through their conduct and living. They are someone who is living with values or striving in this direction. Thus, they are a source of inspiration for their students. Teachers want to pass on what they have truly understood and are able to live, and they engage in education not merely as a profession, but for enriching the lives of human beings and the planet. Now let's have a look at the progression of learners in this H3 education model. First, let's explore learners from kindergarten to grade 6. During this stage, learners are developing a coexistence and solution-oriented mindset. This happens by studying harmonious systems and how they function in their natural state. In the process, they begin to see themselves as an integral part of the whole. The focus for these learners is on properly addressing and recognizing their relationships, becoming helpful and listening well, which means the tendency to recognize and follow good traits. Along with this, they're also developing the ability to relate well with people of all ages and fostering the mentality for engaging in meaningful handwork and production activities. Now let's examine learners from grades 7 to 12. During this stage, learners are solidifying their understanding of reality in relation to the coexistence. In light of this, they are able to review challenges with a harmonious coexistence mindset and become capable of ensuring and moving towards solutions. The focus here is on establishing solutions within and enabling solutions all around. During this stage, learners are engaging and developing various production and handwork skills related to occupation and beginning to form their passions and sincere interests with some direction towards a meaningful livelihood. Lastly, let's examine learners of university age. During this stage, learners are continuing to refine their in-depth understanding, make connections, engage in higher-level research, incompatibility with humanity and the planet, and practice this in their living with their family members, friends, and more. Learners are moving towards qualitative change in the direction towards living with humanness, and their focus is on becoming a self-reliant human being with expertise and occupational skills, proficiency in relationship skills, and becoming wise in their decision-making skills, which considers the well-being of all. To illustrate how this works, let's take the example of a flood. If there was a flood along a river and learners were curious about it, how would this be explored at various stages? Younger students would focus on understanding the river ecosystem in its natural, optimum state. They would explore its fundamental role in maintaining the balance of the ecosystem, while older students would review current challenges and obstacles with a solution-oriented mindset and examine how to overcome these challenges through understanding and relevant skills. So let's put this all together and explore how this works in practice with teachers and students. First, let's explore the planning process for the teachers. Step 1. Begin with a life essential theme. We have 30 life essential themes, for example, family, environmental balance, natural systems, and more. Each theme is related to our Raising Awareness Through Value Education program, which is our unique content and curriculum. This is the realm of deep, enduring understanding, where learners develop the vision, understanding, and ability to become wise and live well with everyone and everything. This forms the base of this education. Each morning, the main lesson is built upon understanding the life essential theme together. Step 2. Teachers will choose an open-ended life essential question related to the theme. These questions act as an overarching umbrella that can naturally house many of the objectives from the theme. The questions should be relatable to the learners, evoke their curiosity, and offer a global context with a viewpoint of ensuring the well-being of all. We will take a look at some question examples shortly. Step 3. Based on the life essential question, teachers will consider possible hands-on engaging projects. Step 4. Teachers will identify basic concepts, skills, and subjects that pertain to the inquiry question, project, and theme. The following steps refer to the teachers implementing with the learners. Step 5. Evoke curiosity. Teachers will consider the question, what do learners currently know about the theme and inquiry? And what do they want to know? This process helps learners to see personal relevance to the theme and establish a baseline for each learner for meaningful evaluation purposes. Step 6. Plan and support. Teachers guide learners to understand the theme and inquiry, engage in projects, develop skills, and make connections across subjects to better understand the life essential theme. Step 7. Collaborate. Since learning does not happen by oneself or in isolation, there's a need to network and collaborate for the learning process to be successful. Learners and teachers collaborate with each other, with parents, family members, community members, and experts in particular fields in order to explore the theme in an authentic way through hands-on activities and projects. Step 8. Present and share. Learners share their process of learning and understanding with their peers through various formats, as well as any artifacts developed. They share their conclusions and make personal connections. Step 9. Reflect. Learners reflect back on their learning, recognize their progress thus far in this learning continuum, and engage in self-evaluation. Step 10. Apply in life. Learners will consider how they can apply what they have understood in their living. This is a very essential step in this education model. Each learner will ask themselves, how can I implement this in my behavior and work or activities? Whatever we learn should become useful in our ability to live well in all of our relationships within the family, society, and the environment around us. So let's look at all of these steps in another way. Here we have the learning cycle. Plan. Teachers come together to plan for the life essential theme. First, they need to organize resources and people to support the learning. Establish criteria for projects, as well as identify a life essential question and necessary subjects and skills to support the learning in an interdisciplinary and multidisciplinary way. Investigate. Here, teachers and learners come together to initiate the learning process of exploring the theme and life essential question. First, teachers introduce the theme and inquiry question. Then, they identify prior learning, evoke curiosity and relevance, and define the objectives. The why or purpose behind engaging in this study should be very clear to both teachers and learners. Now, we are ready to implement. Here, teachers and learners begin to deeply study and explore the theme together through the system-based, relation-centered method. First, learners engage in the study supported by family members, teachers, peers, and relevant community members. In this process, students evaluate their learning. Evaluation is an ongoing process. Learners cooperate and support each other towards the common goal of understanding. Here, there is no place for competition. Instead, sharing and enriching each other becomes primary. Next, learners make connections and create an artifact that expresses their learning, followed by sharing with their peers and teachers. Lastly, reflect. Learners determine conclusions thus far, acknowledge their progress, and reflect upon their learning and understanding. They recognize changes in their thinking, behaving, and doing, and evaluate their overall learning and understanding, as well as artifacts created. In addition, they consider how they can apply their learning in their life. This process does not end here. Whatever progress learners have made gets carried forward to any new exploration or new theme they encounter. This is a learning continuum, a cycle that continues as the students develop towards ensuring the 3 H's: a healthy state of mind, healthy relationships, and a healthy planet. This is an engaging process for both teachers and learners. For people who are still wondering about the subjects are now explored in the meaningful context of the life essential theme. Since it's in connection with their life, whatever they learn will not be forgotten, as it's linked to so many other things. For example, if we want to explore an inquiry around environmental balance, subjects such as math, science, geography, and more will be needed. This process will allow learners to make connections between subjects. Now let's have a look at our H3 education curriculum and theme planning. Our H3 education curriculum, based on raising awareness through value education, is comprised of life essential themes. Each theme has an overview with 5 elements addressed in it: general introduction, which provides the what and why of the theme; our current collective challenges on a societal or global level, where we want to reach, collectively considering the well-being of all, and learning outcomes, both general and specific. These outcomes support students to achieve the 3 H's and bridge the gap between where we are and where we want to reach. Now, let's take a closer look at one of our life essential themes. Theme number 7, relationships, emotions, and family. Here is the theme overview. Feel free to read it thoroughly at your own time. For now, I will go through it briefly. As you can see, the first page introduces the theme. The second page addresses the current challenges to the left and where we want to reach, which is called Towards Happy and Prosperous Homes, to the right. At the bottom, you can see the sequential learning outcomes, both general and specific. Now, let's look at some possible life essential questions for students of kindergarten to grade 3 related to this theme: relationships, emotions, and family. What makes a home? How do our families help us grow? What makes a happy and prosperous home? What does it mean to live well together? Why does family truly matter? What inspiration can we find in our homes? What can we celebrate together? How can we help each other at home? Why are care and service important in the family? Here are some possible life essential questions for students from grade 4 and up. How can we ensure lifelong friendships? What can we learn from different generations? What makes a system, and how can family become like a system? What are the elements that build a stable, happy family life? What impact does family have during different stages of our life? What personal qualities help foster strong friendships? How can our homes cultivate a justful and fearless society? Why are relationships, emotions, and family necessary for living a good life? How are we transformed in our relationships with each other? How can our homes help us thrive? And why is gratitude important for our well-being? Now, let's have a look at some possible project ideas. Home Inspiration Project. Identify inspiring traits of people in your home and share. Service Home Project. Interview parents and take photos of service happening at home and present. Parents Project. How do our parents help us? Choose a medium to share this. Our Home Picture Book. The story of being together. Home Helping Hands Project. How do we help each other at home? Home Map Project. Design a map of your home that tells a story. Learning Together Art Journey. An artistic journey of learning together at home. Brother and Sister Slideshow. A visual photographic journey of the role of brothers and sisters. Home Learning Video. Choose a skill to learn from someone at home. For example, cooking or gardening, from your grandparents or your parents, and make a video of the learning process. Design a game about family, incorporating math, language, and values. Home Design Project. Design and build a home that considers particular variables according to the age and stage of the learner. For example, design and build a home that considers happiness and prosperity, that considers all ages and stages of life, that considers all of our needs, and considers health and the environment. And there are many more project ideas that can be integrated with this theme. Projects can be creatively adapted according to the context of where you live, and learners can use available local resources and materials. Let's look at a possible daily rhythm to see how this all fits together. The daily rhythm is designed in a way that enables a holistic understanding as well as life essential skills. In the morning, we begin with gathering and sharing through songs, poems, stories, meaningful dialogues, and more. Then the main lesson, which is based on the life essential theme. This lesson is integrated with language arts, which includes listening, speaking, reading, writing, fine arts, and hands-on engaging activities. Then math, science, or social studies will be integrated in the context of the theme. In the afternoon, there's open-ended play, which involves creativity and cooperation. Then skills-based activities such as physical education, gardening, music, both vocal and instrumental, dance, handwork, for example, pottery, woodwork, sewing, knitting, bookbinding, repairing, and more. And then collaborative project time and peer learning. Children can make their own books to express and represent their growing understanding. The first page of their H3 main lesson book is the family page. Here, the learner's family members design the first page and write a message to their child so that every day when the learner opens their book, they can recall their family who support them. This cultivates a togetherness mindset and a feeling of gratitude. Projects offer an opportunity to apply understanding and skills in an authentic way. Work collaboratively with peers, family members, community members, and experts in various fields. Projects provide exposure to a wide variety of skills, and they provide the opportunity to develop new interests. It also supports students to acknowledge the importance of family members in their lives and see their integral role in the learning process. It also offers the opportunity for schools and families to become aligned for the well-being of the learner. Projects also offer an opportunity to learn a wide array of skills in the following areas, such as STEM, which means science, technology, engineering, arts, and math, building and designing, meaningful media and communication, for example, photography, storytelling, video making, writing stories, songwriting, and more, portfolio creation, and handwork production skills. Let's zoom in to the same theme, relationships, emotions, and family, in particular for grade 3 learners. First, let's have a look at our Life Essential theme specific learning outcomes for this grade. Learners will understand the importance of relationships in their life. They will explore relationships such as parents, brothers and sisters, friends, and teachers, values such as gratitude, care, help, trust, respect, guidance, and grit, positive behaviors like being of service, cooperation, and listening, how we fulfill our needs together, responsibilities in the family, inspirational living in our families, learning together, the importance of considering the well-being of everyone, and the joy of being together. These outcomes are specifically explored daily through the main lesson while integrating language arts, fine arts, and math. Let's look at a possible plan for this Life Essential theme. Here's a map of the planning. According to the theme, we choose a Life Essential question. Here we have, what makes a happy and prosperous home? This question gives rise to a possible project. Here we have chosen the project to design and build a home that considers all needs in the family. For this, learners will need to recognize all ages and stages in the family, from children to elders. To understand the theme, we need to recognize the subjects and specific learning outcomes that can support this learning process. Subjects will be naturally integrated in an interdisciplinary and multidisciplinary way. Subject curriculum can be adapted according to the place that you are in. Here we have used the Calgary Board of Education's subject curriculum as a framework. For grade 3 science, learners explore the topics of building with a variety of materials and testing materials and designs. This can directly support our inquiry question and project. Students will be building and designing homes out of various local and readily available materials, such as wood, clay, mud, bamboo, cardboard, or paper. In social studies, we can explore mapping and learning about homes around the world. For fine arts, learners will be making visual representations of their home and family members, as well as designing a home. For this, they will engage in sketching, painting, drawing, collage, and more. For language arts, learners will be sharing the story of their homes and family members. They will engage in listening, speaking, reading, and writing activities such as interviews, poetry, letter writing, journal writing, oral communication, and presenting. For math, learners will engage in measurement, perimeter, shapes, and understanding numbers in order to design, plan, and build a home. Now, let's look at some specific learning outcomes from various subject areas that can support the learning about this theme. Feel free to take your time to read through each outcome. I will just share a few examples. In math, some of the specific learning outcomes are: demonstrate an understanding of measuring length using centimeters and meters by measuring and recording length, width, and height. Demonstrate an understanding of regular and irregular shapes by measuring and recording perimeter through centimeters and meters. Learners will need to learn and apply the mathematical skills of perimeter, measurement, and more while planning, designing, and building their homes. In social studies, some examples of the specific learning outcomes relevant to this theme are: examine the geographic characteristics that shape communities in other parts of the world by identifying the communities on the map in relation to where you live, recognizing how physical geography influences human activities in the communities, understanding how communities depend on, adapt to, and change the environment in which they live and work. These learning outcomes can be explored through the lens of how people build homes in their local area, as well as in various places around the world, while considering available materials and climate. For the topic of building with a variety of materials in science, here are some examples of the specific learning outcomes relevant to this theme. Using a variety of materials and techniques, design, construct, and test structures that are intended to support objects and serve as models of particular living things or buildings. Select tools that are suitable to particular tasks and materials and use them safely and effectively. Identify the intended purpose and use of structures to be built, and explain how knowing the intended purpose and use helps guide decisions regarding materials and design. Apply skills of listening, speaking, and cooperative decision-making in working with other students on a construction project. All of these specific outcomes will be necessary for learners to explore in order to understand how to build and improve their house design and structures, as well as work safely and collaboratively with their peers. In science, the topic of testing materials and designs will become relevant to exploring this theme and engaging in the inquiry and project work. Here are a few examples of specific learning outcomes. Recognize that functional structures must be sufficiently strong and stable, and that unstable or weak structures are often unsafe to use. Compare and evaluate the strength and stability of different models or objects constructed, and identify and apply methods for making a structure stronger and more stable. All of these outcomes are necessary for learners to explore while testing out the homes that they design and build, keeping in mind its function, stability, and safety. In fine arts, here are some relevant examples of specific learning outcomes. Students will decorate items personally created by adding details, patterns, or textures to two-dimensional and three-dimensional works. Here, learners can add details and designs to their three-dimensional homes that they are building. Students will use media and techniques in drawing, painting, printmaking, sculpture, fabric arts, photography, and technographic art. Here, learners will engage in a variety of artistic forms to share about their own families and home, as well as design and model home for a family to live in. Students will refine surfaces of objects and forms while learning that texture can be represented from a range of different techniques, color can be made to appear dull or bright, and gradations of tone are useful to show depth or the effect of light on objects. While learners are building their homes, they may require an understanding of color, textures, and more. As you can see, subjects can become relevant and useful within the meaningful context of exploring the life essential theme and project in direction towards achieving the 3 H's. This H3 education model can be implemented in schools and institutions from kindergarten to university level or in home education environments. To establish this requires a collaborative effort of many. The SHAPE education platform offers a place for teachers, parents, learners, and institutions to go to access resources and more. This platform will offer our H3 Life Essential theme-based curriculum rooted in raising awareness through value-based education. International curriculum for subjects such as math, science, social studies, fine arts, and more. Life Essential theme planning and life essential questions, project ideas, lesson plans, evaluation criteria, and more, teacher and parent development classes and handbooks, resource materials for parents, teachers, and learners, such as cooperative games, songs, journals, books, videos, and much more. A platform for children to publish and share their own books and other creations with a wider audience from children from around the world. Through this platform, children can learn and gain inspiration from each other. We also offer raising awareness through value education books for both teachers and learners. And all of this is offered free of charge as a gift to the society because something good should be passed on. Thank you for listening. If you are interested in engaging or learning more about H3 education, or if you would like to implement it in your school or home education environment, please contact us at shape.h3education@gmail.com. We would be very glad to hear from you. Let's move forward together and give a new shape to our world through H3 education. Our future generation deserves it. If we can ensure a sustainable, happy, and prosperous Earth, That would be the greatest gift that we can give to the coming generation.